Hey everybody, this is Burke Holland. We're, I don't know, about an hour and a half away from the webinar on building Chrome packaged apps with Kendo UI. And I'm practicing running through my shtick, and I thought I would record it. And yeah, as I practice, as a good way to practice, as I said. Also, as a twist, I'm going to do it with this Minecraft head on, just so it's even more impressive. Alright, so I've got this basic project up here. This is just a Hello World project, and it's got some CSS and JavaScript, but I haven't added anything else because I want to start with a clean slate. It also has this one JavaScript plugin that we're going to talk about a little bit later on, but well, it's hard to see the keyboard. But for now, it's an empty project, and so we're starting with an empty project, and we need to add a couple files here. So I'm just going to create a couple files. I'm going to create a manifest file, manifest.json. I'm going to create a main HTML file, and these are the two things that we're going to need to kind of get started here. I'm also going to create a background, so we actually need three things. A background.js file, because I'm going to use this file to reach through my eye to scratch my eye. I'm going to use this file to actually launch the application. Alright, so I've added a couple files here, and you can see that they show up. So what I need to do here is, in the manifest, I need to go ahead and declare a few settings for my application. So we'll just do PKG manifest here, so my snippets are set up correctly. And this is a simple manifest. It contains the name of the app and the description. It's a Hello World app. The manifest version tells Chrome that it's a packaged app, so it shows it without the URL bar. And then we're going to launch this background.js file when the application actually loads, and that's what's going to load the main HTML. So it's kind of a roundabout. You'll see how that works. So in the background file, I'm going to go ahead and let's see, PKG. Let's see, app loaded. No, that's wrong. All right, so let me check it out here. Where's my snippets? So PKG on launch. There we go. So we're going to go ahead and add a listener to the Chrome runtime.onLaunched event. And then when we get in there, we're going to create a new window object. And that object is going to load in this main HTML file right there. So you can see, there it is. And then we're going to give it some sizes and a position in the screen when it first launches. So let's switch over to the main file here, which we're going to load, and add a little bit of HTML. I'm just going to add in a div here, and we'll just say hello worlds. Hello worlds. Hello worlds. All right. So that's good. Save all that, and then let's go ahead and add this application to Chrome so we can actually use it. So I'm going to pop Chrome open here, and we'll head over to Chrome / extensions like this. I can't spell extensions. Extensions. And I'm going to pull this. I've been testing it, of course, so it's already there. I'm going to pull it, and I'm going to load it again, and it's here in my Hello World, wherever, there it is at the top. So select that and bring it in, and there we go. Now I can launch that. I have this little extension to launch it here. You can see it shows up, but if I were to go over here, it also shows up on this kind of launch screen. So I'll click Hello World, and there we go. There's the window. It's got no address bar, and it says Hello World. But I want to change the requirements of this app a little bit. I want to show this in an alert. I just want to, instead of showing an H3 tag, just alert. So let's go ahead and change our application to do that. So I'm going to come down in the main file, and I'm just going to open a script tag. This would be very simple to do, and I'm just going to say, we'll come in here and we're just going to say alert, and then our hello worlds. And then I'll go ahead and delete it out from up here because we don't need this anymore. Alright, so let's go ahead and save this, and we'll just refresh, and we can just reload like this. And you'll see that the HTML went away because we removed it, but the alert is gone, or the alert never showed up, so we need to figure out why. I'm going to go to Inspect Element, and you can see that you can inspect these just like you would a web page. There's the WebKit Inspector, DevTools, on the other side. And when you open this up, you see this Refuse to Execute Inline script. So Chrome packaged apps have this thing called a CSP, or a content security policy, and there are certain things that are disallowed in Chrome packaged apps, and this cannot be relaxed. This is inline script is one, and also we have things like new function and eval and parts of the JavaScript language that are considered unsafe because people could execute some arbitrary code on your system and they provide wide attack surfaces, so they've been squashed. So we can't use an inline script. So of course the solution here is to take our alert out. I forgot a semicolon anyway. Don't troll me about that. I'm sorry. And to move this to an external file. All right. So let's go ahead and create an external file here. So I'm just going to create one in the JS folder, and we'll just call it main.js. And then I'll pop over there, and we'll add our code back in here. There we go. And put our semicolon in, and then we'll just add this reference down here in our file, and set our source equal to js/main.js. All right, there we go. So we don't have an inline script anymore. So let's hop back over, and we'll just reload, and we still don't get an alert. And you can see that the reason is because right there, window.alert is not available in packaged apps. Well, crud! I really want to show an alert in my app, because I think that's good UX. So I'm going to go ahead and use a UI framework. We'll use Kendo UI and use a Kendo Window to display the alert instead. Let's go back and add in some Kendo UI. So let's see, Kendo CSS. I got that in there. Let's see. Nope, I pulled in the external links. Let me pull in the internal ones. We can't use CDN references, and you wouldn't want to in a packaged app anyways. So let's go ahead and pull those up. Let me see here. Kendo CSS. There we go. So I've got some local references, and then we'll go ahead and add it down here as well. Let me pull that up, and that's the JavaScript. So jQuery and Kendo. And then over in our main file, since we can't do the inline script, what we'll do is we'll just open up a Kendo window and display some HTML. So if I come here in the main file and I just put in a little bit of HTML, like say div, we'll call this the hello div, and inside we'll put our message, and we'll show this div as a Kendo window to create the alert. So hello worlds. Awesome. All right. Now, so in our main file, we just need to kind of create this Kendo window. Not kind of. We actually need to do it. So let me select it, and we'll just call Kendo Window on it, and I'm going to center it and open it as well. There we go. Let's just put it in the center of the screen. So I've got all this. We're now going to display, instead of an alert, we're working around this. We're going to show a Kendo UI window instead. So let me go ahead and drop back here, and we'll reload. And when I reload, let's see here. I'm missing a JavaScript file. Did I leave Kendo out? Let's see here. In my JS, kendo.all.min.js, what did I say? JS kendo.all.min.js is the source, and I'm missing a... Oh, this is why we practice. Okay, Chrome, reload, and we'll reload, and you see we get this nasty error. And if we scroll to the top, it says invalid template, which is weird because we didn't even declare a template. So, I mean, we could troubleshoot this and come back and go, well, I'm not really sure what's going on. Let me get rid of all of this and just kind of check this out. So if we take all this away and reload, you can see that we still get an error. We're not even doing anything with Kendo UI. So what's actually happened here is that new function is used by Kendo UI to create templates. It's one of the reasons why it makes it so the templates are so fast. They can't be precompiled, it doesn't work that way, and so Kendo UI is essentially blocked completely by Chrome packaged apps. So we have a major problem. The content security policy has completely neutered us in terms of using Kendo UI. Well, Google has kind of provided an escape hatch for us here, and that's by using something called a sandbox. So we can actually take our page and we can turn it into a sandbox page. So all I need to do is I need to come over here in the manifest, and I just need to say that we have a sandbox, and this needs to be in quotes, valid JSON, and inside the sandbox we can define more than one pages, and the pages are in an array. I'll fix that sandbox here in a minute, and we can just say that main.html is a sandbox page. So that's fine. Let me turn this back into an object. Working with this Minecraft head on is harder than you would think, because I have to like look out of the only the left eye because the eyes are too far apart. All right. Okay. So I'm going to reload this, and actually I need to go back to the extension. Actually, reload the extension because I changed kind of the guts of the app. So let's reload it, and then we'll inspect it. And you can see that we're not getting an error anymore here. So we can now use Kendo UI. So I could go back and I could put my code back here. So let's put this back, and then we'll reload. And there we go. So we have a Kendo UI window. Now at this point you may think, well, sweet, our problem is solved. Well, yes and no. Actually, we have another problem. And the problem is that all of the Chrome extension APIs that make Chrome packaged apps so neat, like the ability to access the file system and the ability to use context menus and things like that, none of those things are available inside of the Sandbox. You are absolutely shut off from doing anything that might actually hurt somebody's computer. So how do we get around that? Well, what we're going to do is we're going to use both the main and we're going to create a new page, and we're going to communicate between those two pages. So the way that this works is I'm going to come back to this main page, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to let's create a new file, right? So I'm going to create a new file. I'm going to call it index.html. And this index file is going to be what holds our application, right? So I'm going to move all of my, pretty much all of my script and HTML over here. Go ahead and cut this out. We'll put this in the index page. Let me give this a little bit of structure here. There we go. Put our script in there, and then I'm going to pull out the CSS and put it in there too. And we're going to display this index page inside the main page just using a very simple iframe. So let's go ahead and put the CSS here, head back to the main page. There's not much left in the main page besides that main.js. I have to scratch my nose now. There we go. I was trying not to do that, didn't get away with it. Alright, so now I need to do I need to add an iframe here in which I can display this index page. So I'm just going to add an iframe tag, and then at the top I'm going to add a little bit of style for this iframe tag, well, style for the body, because I want the iframe to extend the whole page so that you can't tell that there's actually an iframe there. And I'll just set the height to 100%. That's kind of the magic that I need there. I don't need single quotes, but thank you, Sublime Text. Alright, next up, the next thing that we have to do is back in our manifest here, say that the index page is the Sandbox page. So we have this index page. It's sitting inside of the main page, and this main code we actually can now take into the Sandbox. So we don't need this anymore. And inside of the Sandbox, we can do pretty much whatever we want. So we can actually do inline script, which is awesome. So I'm going to create a script tag here. There we go, and then inside we'll just put what we had before, right? So we have a whole lot more leeway inside of the Sandbox than we do outside. All right, let's hop back over and reload, refresh, and let's see. I need to reload back here. There we go. So it's same functionality, and if we inspect this, you can see that the structure of the app is that we have the main page, and then inside is the iframe, and inside the iframe is the actual content, including our Kendo window. So how do we communicate between the iframe and the main page? Because in the main page, or the main.js included file, we can call Chrome extension APIs, but we can't in the Sandbox. So what we're going to do is we're going to use a combination of post message, which allows you to communicate in between pages, and something called pub/sub, which allows us to dispatch a message and then listen to that message and respond appropriately. Now, if that sounds kind of complex to you, don't be turned off or put out by that. It's fine. I've bundled this up into a jQuery plugin. Everybody loves jQuery plugins, and me too. So I've bundled this up for you. I'm going to show you how easy this is to use. This is the PKG plugin that I talked about earlier. It's right here. It's based on Peter Higgins' work in a pub/sub library, and I've just kind of added a bit to it for you. It's really, really small here. I don't think I can say it's lightweight. I don't think we're allowed to say that anymore, but I could say it's small. It looks small to me. So the first thing that we need to do to use the PKG plugin is actually include it. So in the main file, it is a jQuery plugin, so I need to add the jQueries in here. So let's see here. That's the best way to do this. Let me just grab it from the index page here, move this over into the main page, because we're going to have to have jQuery on both sides, because remember these pages are completely separate from each other. And then we're going to go ahead and add in the PKG plugin as well, and that's just pkg.js. And it's a jQuery plugin, so it needs to come afterwards. And then, of course, because the pages are separate, as I said, we'll have to have it on both sides. All right, there we go. Now, the PKG plugin is it's a static object. Not really a singleton, but a static object. And so in order to use it, you need to initialize it. So in the main file here, which is where we're going to actually interact with the Chrome packaged apps, we need to initialize first the PKG plugin. We do that by calling PKG. This is the plugin. And we just say .init. And then we need to provide the target that we're going to. Well, that's the iframe. Scratching my nose again, sorry about that. That's in the main HTML right here. So we need to get a reference to that. I've got a snippet for this. I'm going to use that instead. Let's see, that's PKG init main. Where are you, init main? There you are. All right, so we're going to select the iframe by its ID and then pass iframe.contentWindow into the PKG plugin. And that just tells it this, we're going to communicate with the iframe's content window. And in the iframe, we need to specify the main HTML file as the one we're going to communicate with. And we do that by saying PKG init iframe. There we go. We're just going to listen to the window.top gets us a reference to the main.html file. Okay, so now we have the PKG plugin wired up, and we have this like Thor rainbow bridge that we can talk across between these two pages. So let's look at an example where we read from the file system. I'm going to go ahead and implement the code that actually reads from the file system, and then I'll tell you what, I'll do it here first. Let's go ahead and up here, let's change our HTML just a little bit. Let's take out this right here. We're gonna pick an image off the file system and then display it in this window that we have. So I'm going to add a button here, and then this button text is going to say pick an image. All right, very nice. So let's add an event handler to our button down here. So I can keep all this. That's good. All right, so just right here, let's add an event handler to our button. So we'll just select the button. It's the only button on the page, so we're good. We'll do a click and then execute a function. And in this function, what I want to do is I want to take this PKG plugin and I want to send a message. And it will send this message up to the main.html page. And the message is going to be select file. Okay, that's it. Now, we need to respond to this message on the other side. And here is where we're going to do that. So let's see, PKG. Actually, let me pull this up again. PKG select file. All right, now this is the longest piece of code that we're going to look at today, and it's mostly reading from the file system. But you can see here that I'm going to listen for that select file message, and then I'm going to respond by executing this function. And then I'm going to use the chrome.filesystem.chooseFile API, and we're going to do open file, which is to select one, and I'm going to restrict the kinds of files we can open to just some valid image types here. And then we'll read it with a file reader. And when we are done reading it, we've read it all in, we will send out a message to the index or iframe saying that the file has been loaded, and we'll pass the file that we just loaded in as a parameter. The PKG plugin allows you to pass multiple parameters in an array like this. You can do this .result or another param or another param, and they will all come in that order to the function that receives them. Okay, and I'm missing something here. Yes, we need to add permission into the manifest before this is going to work. So let's come down and add a permissions node here to our JSON. And in the permissions is an array. We can have multiple, and this one is just file system is the permission. So pretty simple. And that just says when you install the application that the application is going to have access to the file system. All right, save that, and then we just need to respond to this message that's coming back in the index file. So let me come over here to the index. All right. So we're sending the message out, and we need to add a listener to listen for it coming back. So PKG file loaded, maybe? No, that's not it. Just stop trying to guess what my snippets names are because I can't even remember. So hello world window. Let me see here. File loaded, and there we go. So what we're going to do is we're going to listen for this message coming back, and when it comes back, we will actually listen for the message. And when it comes back, we'll create a new image, and then we will set the content of the window, and then we'll center it and open it. And the window's here right now, and so I don't need to center it and open it anymore. I do need to get a reference to it, and I can do that by saying data and then Kendo Window. There we go. And then we'll just assign that to the variable when, not wub, wub, when. Here we go. Which will return an instance to the window, and I don't want to open it by default, so I'll say visible equals false, which keeps it from opening the window by default, which is the default behavior. And then we can reference it here, set its content to the actual image that was passed back. The source, the image is created, it's passed through here on onload, the window is centered, and then it's opened. Alright, so we should be good to go if we've done everything correctly here. I'm going to come back and reload this, and then we'll launch it up again. There we go. And we have a button. I say pick image, and nothing happens. So let's see what I did wrong. Live debugging. I made some syntax errors. Let me head back over here. What is the yes, that's not good JavaScript. That's bad JavaScript. There we go. So you can see the debugging is pretty nice there with the Chrome developer tools, just like it is on the web. So I can click pick image, and the window slides down, and I can now go and get an image, and I have one that I like to show here, and we'll just pick this one. And you see that the image is sent back, and it's now displayed inside of my modal window inside this application, Chrome packaged app, using Kendo UI, and fully getting all of the features of Kendo UI. So that's nice. So that's what I wanted to show you guys. Thanks for listening to me practice. Be sure to check out the Kendo UI packaged app bootstrap, which is at my github/me/packaged app bootstrap. There you go. You can fork this or download it or do whatever you want. I'll launch it for you real quick, show you what it does. It's just an example of using Kendo UI, using the same methodology and pattern that we just used. So the select file system example, some context menus, notification, text to speech is a cool one. I've got some messages in here, and it'll actually speak this for you. Idle state's another pretty cool one here. You can actually tweak the amount of time to listen for the idle state. So if your user actually sits idle for 15 seconds here, and that's the lowest you can go, the status will actually automatically change to idle, and the list will be updated. It actually also handles locked status, although I don't want to lock my computer because I'm not sure what that will do to the screencast. But if I can keep talking long enough to get past 15 seconds, you should see the idle status box below update, although I'm losing faith that it's going to happen. Oh, it's because some of these APIs are only available in Canary. So sorry about that. That was 15 seconds of your life you'll never get back. I apologize. All right, thanks a lot. Hope you enjoyed this screencast, and I'll see you later.